go. We're back. I screwed up. And I think I know what it was and why I heard 10. Both MJ and Zion Imani have appointments today. Zion Imani's on was kind of sprung on us. We didn't even know that the neurologist scheduled him an appointment for today. And MJ, because I guess it was like just automatically scheduled after his EEG, because I actually didn't see the date until yesterday, day before yesterday. And I was like, so I'm like, wait a minute, Zion has an appointment tomorrow, but luckily, it's like no school, whatever, I'm not doing anything. But MJ had a dental appointment that would have been today, but it was canceled because he went out of town with his grandmother. MJ's appointment was at 10, and Zion Imani's appointment was at 9. So I missed Zion Imani's appointment. So now I got to come back on Friday. So let's continue the discussion, shall we? Hold on. Un momento. You okay? Okay, there we go. We're back. I had to figure out how to get. It was like so much stuff going on. Had to get back. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are some humongous lizards. Those are iguanas.
Wait, I saw a purple when we were at the graduation show.
You saw a purple lizard at the graduation show?
Yeah, but they can walk like that.
They can walk up the wall? Yeah, they can.
Yeah, so I think they got big.
Yeah, those iguanas are huge in Broward County. All right, so let's get back into this. So if you are just joining, you're seeing me this time. I was actually live a little bit while ago, a little bit ago, when I went into Zion Imani's, like we were on our way to Zion Imani's appointment. I swear, people are just ridiculous. And I was talking about posting online and social media, and whether or not there are any rules to it. Does it come like if you're posting something and someone kind of comes like at your post kind of cuckoo crazy, should you should you be able to clap back or whatever, and like respond to it? Or are you supposed to be like, well, you posted social media, people are going to say something, like, and just accept the craziness that comes out of people's mouth. Then we also talked about, should small businesses be mindful of how they respond or clap back, because it will make them seem to others less professional because you're clapping back. Like, can professionals not respond to things as a professional or as your business? If you post something and somebody posts something crazy, are you supposed to not respond back? So those were some of the talking points that we went over when I did the first live video. And so I was getting ready to end up right at the door of the waiting room. So I ended the live, and we were talking about whether or not it hurts someone's business. I think that's what where we were talking about when I left off. And also, no, someone also mentioned about, feeding into drama and stuff like that. And I think I was also saying, like, how many response back and forth before it's like, oh, whatever, you just want drama, because to me, it's dialogue. I'm not saying that you have to agree with what I am saying, but if you end up saying something and I have a rebuttal for it, or I have a certain feeling on it. Now, if it's to the point where we're literally saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, I think that's completely ridiculous. But it's like, okay, you say something and then I respond back. I feel like some people take a response back as you trying to convince them of your point of view, and you want, like, you're trying to get them to come to your way of thinking. But I'm like, I'm just speaking my piece. Like, you same way you spoke yours in your comment, I'm just saying, my thoughts on it. So, are there rules to posting on social media? Is there a certain way, like, if someone says, hey, you go low, they go low, you go high? I'm kind of I match energies type person, and I can still match your energy and not get disrespectful and like calling you out of your name and things like that. Because some people don't have, like, the moment they feel threatened now is, oh, you're bald headed, be this, you're that, your mama, you're blah 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 blah. Like, to me, that is just ridiculous. When they start coming for people, like, how, like, what they assume and making assumptions about their living situation, or like, I hate when people kind of go and be like, you're government assistance, and because all the different ones, whether it's like food stamp, Section 8, da da da, or one I really really hate, like, with certain people, and they make them, like, they'll call them hoes and stuff, like, if they know them, if they have more than one kid, like, stuff like that, I just think is uncalled for. When you now have personal attacks on people's character and just, like, just on who they are, to me, that is just straight hatred. It's not hate, or like, how we say you're hating on someone. No, that's just straight up hate and hatred. So and then it's like, I know what I was saying. The last thing that I was saying was, if someone posts something on social media, you post it on a public platform, should you expect all responses? And the example that I gave was, if someone just kind of posts something and they're just posting like their work, is it wrong of someone to offer constructive, or whether it's constructive or not, because some people really don't know how to do constructive. So is it wrong to to offer up your 2 cents, even if they didn't necessarily ask, okay, what do you guys think of this design? Is it wrong to then offer up your thoughts, your opinions on it, if they're just simply posting? The other thing is, when someone is like in a group, or I mean, they just posted like online or whatever, and they are asking for opinions, should people lie to folk on social media? And as far as like how they feel. So I'm not going to say it's a lie as in like, oh, it looks good. Like, I'm going to say that it looks good, but it really doesn't, because everybody has different taste, right? So if I'm saying it doesn't look good to me, some people be like, oh, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But when you're posting on social media and you're looking for advice, or um feedback on something that you created, that you did, or whatever, do people go in more so looking for validation? And it's like, I want someone to tell me I did a really good job because I tried really, really hard, and you don't want to hear from the people who don't like it. So is it you're expecting only the people who like it to like the post and comment, okay, great job, and you don't want to see any of the comments that are providing criticism? Hola, hola, hola. Hey, just say Welcome, welcome, welcome in. As you guys come in, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know where you're watching from. Want you guys to chime in on your thoughts. Incredible morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like the video as you guys come in. This can help you because, I mean, if you second guess or if you're not someone who is posting on social media, like when it comes to like your business, right? You're someone that's starting out. As you start to post to social media, or you're either doing lives and stuff like that, like you have to be kind of prepared for these things as well. So this can be really, really helpful if you're trying to build a brand and you're utilizing social media as a means to push and promote your brand. It should never be the only source. It's always a resource. I've been preaching that for so many years now. Social media should be a resource, not the source. I have seen recently, actually, I mean, even with that, like sometimes people tiptoe around it. Some people have talked about it directly, and then some people are just like, oh, I just saw a creator and they're talking about like how slow. I see a lot of creators on YouTube talking about how slow it's been. And Angela Jasmina is one of those people where she has been very open. She's now on video number 4. Like in a recent series, like, of being very vulnerable and being very transparent in how it's going. I was one personally where I felt like she relied too much on social media. Social media was the source of marketing and promoting for her business and not just a resource. And I feel like this is why she's in the position that she's in, because she used social media as the source and not a resource. But you have to go check that out. It can be very eye-opening. Her last one, she did share what she felt like was a lot of the causes and the reasons why she's in the position that she's in. And some of it was a good amount of it was overspending and overextending herself and trying to please everyone. And oh, well, they asked me this color. She's like, oh, I'll say this. They'll say they want this color. I order it. They don't order it. Or she's just like ordering too much of things. It's only her and a few people. And I want to really break down that video, because when she talks about like staff, or when it comes to like embroidery, she's like, well, you have to know how to embroider. I think she's like, she's like, trying to find someone who knows how to embroider. They finally found someone. She's like, but then some people, if they know how to embroider, they want to do their own thing. She got it to where Keenan can do it. But I'm like, there's other parts of your business that people could have been trained on. But that's sort of another day. Like I do plan to actually talk about that. And that goes to this as well. She made a post. She kind of put it out there. If someone has a viewpoint on it, is it wrong for them to do a video or make a post on their platform discussing that situation and providing their 2 cents? Like if you have a social media platform where you talk about things of business, if they put it out there, is it not open to reactions and reflections and using it as a teaching tool? Because I plan to do it anyway, but I already know I'm probably going to get some backlash if people are like, oh, whatever, because it's just pointing out the obvious, and I'm always, of course, going to come from a place where I can help others and bring up points that I kind of see what's going on in her situation, and talking to my community about how you can hopefully avoid this same outcome. It's okay to be honest and give constructive criticism as long as you're being respectful. That's the thing. Some people, even if you feel like you're being respectful, some people don't consider it to be respectful. So by whose standard are you basing it being respectful as? I've seen some criticism be, now some of them are straight up like, oh, this is like, when people say, oh, this is hideous, like, okay. And then it's like, to me, where I think where it gets disrespectful at, and some of that like criticism, right, is they'll say something like, just tear it down. Oh, this is disgusting. Like, this is hideous or horrendous. Like, I cannot stand this, blah, 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 blah. But they don't give feedback on how, right? Or, just saying like, okay, you might find it hideous. Okay, well, what made it hideous to you? What would you have liked to see? Like, giving that with it, because not everybody is going to be your customer. Like, some people, they have certain preferences. I am a person where there are some people that do amazing work when it comes to, because they'll use Photoshop or whatever, or all these programs where they can add flashes and halos and glows and da 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 da, and they're putting all the. I personally I do not like it. That is not my preference. And that's always tell people, it's not about knowing your worth. Are you talking to the right audience? Because for me, if I was not doing what I do, and I didn't know how to do these things, and I came across someone who was doing it, and all of their designs were those ones that's really, really busy and have all those splashes. Like, I'm a very minimalistic type person when it comes to designs. And even like in my regular life, I'm not like a lot of busy things. I like to keep things real simple. So although you might be great at what you do, and there is an audience of people who will think that what you do is great, I ain't that person. And I'm okay with not being that person. Like, I'm not technically your target audience, right? And then people will say that like that. Oh my God, that's another topic. Man, I really probably do need a podcast. I think now I can talk about like certain topics. I think I'm okay with not having Q&As, and just because y'all don't respond back anyway, and just kind of picking a topic and talking about it. I think I want to kind of do that sometimes, because I be having some things on my mind. Hold on. But yeah, so it's like, you don't always have to like certain designs, because I don't like all of those super, super busy designs. That's not my stilo at all. But it's like, you'll go and you'll provide like some type of like feedback. And then, so somebody said something to me in my comments and my group, and I was like, where this come from? Who this for? You remember that trending sound? Who this for? Like, who was this directed at? Because it could have been me. Don't mind my background. It might look a little crazy. I have a bunch of messed up shirt bags behind me. So yeah. Hold on. If I post something, I will want them to tell me the truth about it. I love all her videos and lives. What's her name again? And where is this series of videos? On YouTube. Her name is Angela Jasmine. I watch all of her videos. Her name is Angela Jasmine. And she's talking about, business being really slow, and possibly having to close or readjust. She's trying to figure out how to make adjustments to her business. She talks, she walked around her warehouse. She ended up with this warehouse, and she's like, as soon as she got the warehouse, she felt like sales dropped and stuff like that. So her name is Angela Jasmine. But anywho, what was I saying? So since I'm at my desk now, I made a post. So this is not totally related to that, but kind of sort of related to it, because I've experienced this twice. Well, today and yesterday, I guess. So on yesterday, someone had a post in a group, and she was designing a tumbler, and she was using Silhouette Studio. So she had her background. It was black. It had like these green, I want to call it flames or smoke or something. It's just like green something around like the edge. And so then she had a logo for the middle, and she was doing a trace and detach instead of a regular trace and then just filling in with color. So of course, if you don't know, whenever you do a trace and detach in Silhouette Studio, it only does the outside. So anything on the inside will not be removed. So inside of like her chain and like in some other areas, she still saw white. So she needed to basically just trace it. That is not something that you need Photoshop for, Illustrator. Like you do not need any robust design software for that. It can just be the program that she was using worked perfectly fine for what it was that she was doing. So the person was like, oh, you need to use a real, hold on. So she says, just go into your design program, not Cricut, and fill it with black where it needs to be black. Easy peasy. One, you don't even know what you're looking at because that's not Cricut, that's Silhouette Studio. So obviously you don't even know the program to know what it is. You just hear Silhouette and think Craft Machine. So I responded back and I stated, hold on, okay, I'm back on Wi-Fi. Hold on, let me see if I can find mine. So I said, this is not Cricut DS. It's Silhouette Studio, which is an amazing design program. She laughed at it, right? So then I went and that means she went into that post because I didn't even post all of the designs. And so wait a minute, pause. I just realized what this person did in my group. The original post that I commented on, I guess because we were going back and forth, the original poster in that particular group turned off the comments to that post. So no one can further comment on that post. The post that I made, I did not show any group names. I blocked out any names that was not my own, okay? But it's now, now I really want to clap back. Oh, I want to clap back because I feel like they came into my group to comment because they could not comment over there. And that is not what you want to do with me, okay? But anywho, so I said, it's an amazing program, right? So they responded back. As a graphic designer, I vehemently disagree. It is awful. How do you know that when you're saying and not Cricut? Because this clearly was not Cricut. It was Silhouette Design Studio. Silhouette Studio. So you didn't even know what program it is. So you're going to go and just say, I disagree. It's awful. How can you say it's awful when you didn't even say and not Silhouette? You said and not Cricut. That lets me know you don't know what the flip you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. So she says, great for what it was made for, die cutting, but terrible for designing from the ground up. Very limited in its features. Just because Photoshop has a lot of features, Photoshop has limitations as well. There are a lot of limitations to certain design concepts and certain design styles that Photoshop is limited in, which is why the other major software that is out there, like for Adobe, is Illustrator, because that offers a different style of designing. Photoshop is not a program that allows you to do everything that you want to do design-wise. Neither is Illustrator, neither does Canva, neither does Affinity or Corel Draw or Silhouette Studio or Cricut Design Space. But if you are designing a certain type of way, certain programs can work just fine for you, and you don't need to go to a more professional and commercialized program. So I then said, it is okay for you to disagree. I am a graphic designer as well. I know the power of that program. It has some of the exact same capabilities as commercial design softwares. Unless you have design in it and really learn the program, it was supposed to be, I wouldn't pass judgment. I was typing too fast. That came out kind of crazy because that's not what it says, but I meant to say I wouldn't pass judgment, right? So then I put some examples and I was like, I fully vectorized the Hornet and did the rest of the design in Silhouette Studio. So some of you guys were on TikTok saw when I completely vectorized the Hornet for my son's school. And then I made a design where it was like for their, for the kindergarten class, and it was like their kindergarten shirt for this year. And then I also showed a full set, like it was a Bluey set for a grad cap, a yard sign, a shirt, a stole, and fans, right? So I said everything designed in Silhouette Studio, including the vector, shadows, and highlights, because the numbers had like highlights and there was like little shadows. Like there's a lot going on this design, all done in Silhouette Studio, right? So she says, they're very nice. I commend you for your work. I still disagree. Things can be done much faster in a designated design program. I'm so confused as to why is it not like it's a design program. So when you say designated program, this is a design program that literally has the same features. And there are so many more capabilities. There might be more capabilities, but I don't care what design program I design in. If this is the design that I wanted, if that's how I wanted it set up, I did not want glows. I did not want embossing. I did not want blend modes. I didn't want I didn't want drop shadows. I didn't need to remove the background on anything. I didn't need to fade off anything. I didn't need to do any of these things that are there that Photoshop is great for. Illustrator, it would be the same thing. So if this is the design that I wanted to create, I would literally use the same methods no matter the program. No matter the program. One program doesn't make it easier to do those same things because it's literally the same thing. Cropping, or I would have had to make something a layer mask. Changing the color, it's already vectorized. I clicked on it, I changed it. It was actually easier in Silhouette Studio. So for a lot of these things, I click on it, the color palette is open, I click on that and just fill it in with the color. In Photoshop, I had to click on it. It opens up a window. I then had to click on another part of it to get to the part to select the color and hit OK twice. I got to hit OK twice to change the color of something. If it is already rasterized, I have to go, like, you can't just click on it and fill it in and change the color. Hold on, let me go find this damn paint bucket. Hold on. I got to go in, select the color, and then change it. And it actually ended up filling into the whole thing. And so I'm like, I know both programs. I know the limitations of it. If I want to rotate, move something in Photoshop, I have to click on it and I have to go into free transform, Control T, Command T, or go to free transform, from like the top panel in order to resize it, rotate it, flip it horizontally, flip it vertically. You have to do an extra step. In Silhouette Studio, I click on it, it's selected. I can resize it, I can rotate it, I can right click, flip it, do whatever. Isn't it not more steps in Photoshop for a simple task? So I'm like, whoever. But seriously, she don't know. I didn't take offense to it. I laughed at this next couple of lines, these next couple of sentences. I laughed like hell at these next words. Because I'm like, okay, I didn't take offense to it because you don't know me. And that is okay. So she says, but seriously, you're doing well. And I'm not gonna lie. Because of the energy that she was giving, I read it as if that's how she said it to me. So I'm reading this how I perceive the tone of her voice to be. But seriously, you're doing well. Keep up the good work. I think you'd really do well if you expanded upon what you've learned and shifted into something a little more dedicated. The fudge. It's like, clearly you don't know. It's okay though. And then the comments were turned off, so I couldn't even respond back to that. I was a little perturbed that I couldn't respond back, right? So I made a post that talked about the fact that I dislike when people downgrade or they talk about like Silhouette Studio like it's not a design program, right? So my words, if you have not seen the post, was, I absolutely hate when folk who are graphic designers, and yes, I put it in air quotes, and that was meant to give all the shade that people read into it with the air quotes. Because then when I wrote that I was a graphic designer, I did not use the air quotes. So it was meant to give all the shade that this was supposed to give. So I hate when folk who are graphic designers act as if the traditional programs are the only thing that can be used or considered the proper program to use. Silhouette Studio is more powerful than people think and does not get the respect it deserves because it was created to control a cut machine. As a graphic designer, I can make any damn program do what it do. Some of the more commercialized programs make ish difficult and take more steps than Silhouette. And those programs also have limitations. Hence why Adobe has 1,000,001 applications and Affinity has 2. If you haven't ever done Adobe, there's InDesign and Photoshop and Illustrator and Muse and Lightroom, and there's a lot of Adobe products, right? And that said, Affinity came after Silhouette and gets more credibility as a design program, and I do not even understand why. The original versions are crap. I'm sorry. If you've ever used Affinity, the original, Affinity 1 was very limiting and very, very unnecessarily complicated, like in the way that you had to maneuver around it. And it says, I have not and will not be buying the second generation because I already know people ask all the time, oh, what about Affinity, da, 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 da. Or anytime that I mention the limitations of Affinity 1, people will then go and say, oh, but they came out with the new one. You should try Affinity 2. They added blah, 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 blah. So I said, I won't be buying the second. I don't have a need for Affinity. I'm an Adobe girl. And I made that perfectly clear. I'm an Adobe girl, right? This was posted on like my page, just like my followers. I talk about the same thing. I'm very consistent. I don't change up my messaging. I don't change up what I teach. I have been very consistent for 10 years in what I teach. I'm not changing with the wind because it was, crafting type stuff and using vinyl, which I'm not saying that you can't like elevate, but to where you completely switch and make it seem like, oh, vinyl was just like trash or whatever. Oh, now it's okay, get into sublimation. Now it's like, okay, well, damn sublimation, get into DTF. Okay, well, no, get into screen print transfer. Damn screen print transfers, get into DTF. Okay, now we're not worried about that all together. Now let's work on digital products. Oh, let's work on PLR. Oh, let's work on coaching. Like, I've been very consistent. So to follow me and to be in my group, especially to be in my group, you would think that you watching my content and understand Shakia the Professor. So I want to know, I just read that. Did I downplay? Well, I guess I did. I guess affinity. So I guess I will say, I guess because I said the original versions are crap. It came after Silhouette, but it's more credible. And I'm like, the original versions of Affinity was crap. So I guess, so is that where I disrespected or I downplayed another program? So y'all let me know. Because then I'm going to read to you the comment that was made in my group. Oh, did I knock any of those programs? I guess Affinity. My last one saying that one was crap, so that's knocking it. So you're not allowed to speak your mind. So the response to that was, mind you, this is somebody commenting not in my sublimation group, not in my general like learning community, like not my student union where I have students that have taken Silhouette, business classes, Photoshop classes, things of that nature. Not in those groups, in my Silhouette studio group or my Silhouette group, a Silhouaholics Anonymous group. Their response was, I'll stick with Photoshop because I'm not impressed with your Silhouette designs. How was I supposed to receive that? Like, I know it might be kind of hard because I'm very animated right now. But this was a comment under that post I just read to you saying, I don't get why people downplay Silhouette. And I showed examples, right? And their comment under that post was, I'll stick with Photoshop because I'm not impressed with your Silhouette designs. How was I supposed to receive that? No one? Okay. Okay, well, I see yours. Uh-oh. Well, why are you here? That was kind of harsh in my opinion. Okay. Tell them if they don't like it, they can kick rocks. I think you should have taken offense to that. So my response in, being the professional, right? Let's get some clarity because maybe, just maybe, I miss, maybe maybe didn't mean it how I'm perceiving it, right? So in my attempt to be quite professional, I said, which still it came with a little attitude behind it. I said, and the purpose of this comment was what exactly? That is what I commented. Now, being, my platform is called Honesty Speak, not just honesty from me, from others. I have asked a question on these platforms for honest feedback, and I've made adjustments to classes. I've made adjustments to like different things and how I teach or how I provide information. So I'm always open for that if I'm asking the question. So was that not the appropriate way to respond to that? I said was, and the purpose of this comment was what exactly is what my response was. Was there an issue? Do you feel like there's an issue with the way that I responded, the way I responded to their comment saying they're not impressed with my silhouette designs? Oh, and now I realize I just read it wrong. So it didn't even say I was knocking the program. I'm gonna read to you what this says, because I'm confused. Now that I reread it, it was even saying that I was knocking the program. Huh. Wow. Okay. Because I definitely knocked Affinity, but that's even not what they said. So I'm like, okay. Was there something wrong with what and how I responded to their comment saying that they were not impressed by my designs on a post that wasn't about that? Like, it was just say, I dislike when people treat Silhouette Studio like it can't make it do what it do. And your response is, well, I'm not impressed by your designs and Silhouette anyway. Man, y'all do me dirty here. Y'all don't comment, y'all don't engage with your girl. Well, I'm gonna say everyone, but like, God, wait. So anywho, since y'all are gonna comment, not let me know, or is it that you don't want, it might be you guys don't want to offend me and your silence is saying, Shakia, you were wrong. So maybe that's what it is. So what she said sounded more rude. So what I said was rude, it's just that hers was more rude. So, okay. So that's what I said. I think that maybe the silence is people not wanting to tell me that I was rude. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So her response to me after I said, and what was the purpose of this? And the purpose of this comment was what exactly? Okay. That was my comment. Her comment to that was, my point is, you made a post trying to knock people for not using Silhouette. At any point, did I knock anybody for not using Silhouette? You claim it's so much better than all of the other programs. Did I ever say that Silhouette was better than all of the other programs? Did I ever say that? But then she says, but you didn't prove your point, at least not with the examples you posted in the comments. So this is what I was saying. When on my post, you can't really see the designs. I posted 3 or 4 of them. And so she was like, you can't, at least not with the examples you posted in the comments, which means you were on that original post in that group where the comments were turned off. And because you could not comment over there, you decided to trudge your little behind over to my group. And because I don't ever turn off comments. Because why? I create content. I get a little checkity check from the content that I create on social media. So I'm not going to delete a comment. I'm not going to turn off a comment unless like the video is just like totally like just jacked up. Like I might remove it. And even then, when my videos are like to me, they are the worst. I have people saying, do not delete it. I still learned a lot. Please don't delete it. When for me, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want like newbies to come across this and think that this is the quality of like, you know, my videos and they don't want to follow me or whatever. So I'm like, I'm trying to put my best foot forward. So I'd rather delete a video that's like not, you know, the quality wasn't great, or it wasn't like a lot of Q&As and stuff in it. And it's like, you know, it was just like basic stuff, whatever. So I'm like, I always want to kind of delete them. And people literally beg me not to, because there's always something to learn. And like any video that I do, like there's always a gem somewhere. So I'm like, I'm not going to turn off no comments. So because you couldn't comment over there, it's almost low key like you followed me to my group to tell me you didn't like my designs. My point is, you made a post trying to knock people for not using Silhouette. You claim it is so much better than all of the other programs, but yet you didn't prove your point, at least not with the examples you posted in the comments, because, and I'm gonna add this to the, I'm gonna just add this to the back end, because I'm not impressed with your Silhouette designs. Okay. How can you knock people for not using Silhouette, but you teach Canva and Photoshop? Oh, to the graphic designers, Canva is not a design software either. Now, I personally don't use Canva to create like designs for things. I like it for social media posts, website stuff. I like it for ebooks. I'm working on a digital learning like binder for Zion Imani. I love it for things like that. I just don't create like full on like shirt or t-shirt or tumbler or chip bag type designs, because baby, anybody got time for that mess. But I'm not gonna knock it. It has its uses. I've edited videos. I love the animation part of it, but it's not my main design program or option. You said you can do what it do in any program. Exactly. That's all I said, is that I, as a graphic designer and understanding what graphic design is, here's where my classes differ from others. And even YouTube videos. Some people don't like my videos. They feel like it's too much, it's long-winded, it takes too long to get to the part that they need. But my whole thing is, I don't teach Silhouette Studio as a program to just cut from, or just to like throw something, like just to drag and drop or plug and play. I use it as an introduction to graphic designing. No matter what program you're in, there are certain things that you're gonna have, that you're gonna have to do it in this sequence, because it is how this thing is done, no matter what the program is. So my goal is to teach graphic designing. I don't really care to just teach Silhouette Studio. That's not, although I love it, you know, I mean, I've been using it for 11 years now. I absolutely love it. I think everyone should have a Cameo, and everyone should learn, you know, should download Silhouette Studio. But I use it as a way to teach graphic designing, not just teach the program. What are you doing? Oh, the ant. I still want to know, why is she in your group trying to learn? Oh, I think she's also from Miami. That's the other part that's like funny to me. Exactly. I watch your videos to learn other ways besides Canva. Sounds like she has her notifications turned on to see when you post. I love your teaching method. Thank you. So here was someone asked, so what was my response? Here was my response to that. You know, I know my good friend was on here. She was like, some people write essays. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely the person that writes essays. Maybe that person does not have an understanding of great designing. I don't know. She's probably in the backgrounds watching this live. Oh, probably is. I mean, I shared it in the group. So, my thing is, you teach everything. Answer any questions like a real one-stop shop, you know, but it's okay. So my response was, I never knocked anyone for not using, I never knocked anyone for using another program. I teach, and I wrote that in all caps, other programs. I said it has some of the same features and that there are things that are easier to do in Silhouette Studio. I stated that I hate that people downplay what it can do. I wrote hate in caps because I wrote it in caps. The styles of those particular designs can be done in any program. And that way, and if that is what the and that is what the creator wanted, something like Photoshop is not needed. And for what the original poster wanted to do, Photoshop or a real program was not needed. You don't have to like my style of designing. I prefer vector-based designs and not too busy designs. I prefer designs that are proportionate and not stretched and skewed. That was a little shade. I'm not even gonna lie, because I went and looked at her stuff. I prefer to not have designs with a bunch of glows around everything. I prefer designs that don't need a bunch of brush strokes and other elements behind it. I have been very open. Now, that one was not directly towards her, although she does have that. But I have been very, very open and very vocal that that's not my design style. I don't design. My students, those who were in my graduation one, know that I was like, okay, maybe I'm not connecting with people. Maybe they're not resonating because they want to see all of this foolishness. And my students like, nah, professor, we good over here. You ain't got to switch nothing up. But I even tried to design, and my eyes were like, this is team too much. This is too much going on. Glitter backgrounds and da-da-da. This was just team too much. So I'm like, I can't do it, okay? But I tried to. I mean, it's not that I can't do it. I can design it because, baby, my design for Bob.com. And even in my attempt to make the busy designs, my ish still slapped, okay? So then I said, furthermore, I am not selling to you. My customers have no problem with the way I prefer to design. Can I design in any style? Yup. But I have a preference. What you design and how you design depends heavily on the purpose of the design. So what Silhouette Studio is capable of doing works. You follow me. You are in my group for Silhouette Studio. So obviously you see a purpose in using it. And if you choose to only use it to cut on the machine, then cool. That is your choice. But I'm still gonna stand 10 toes down that Silhouette Studio can hold its own. And then pause, because I realized when I was in the car, people on this here blue app will purchase basically anything because they don't know any better. Did she just say people buy my stuff because they don't know no better? Oh, as if I get about this much actual like work for HSC Prince 365. I teach. I no longer have a social media for like my personal. I don't do anything on my business page for my customs. Not at all. My social media platforms are for teaching people how to design. Ain't nobody buying no, like, well, I'm not gonna say that. That's a lie. Because I actually have quite a few people that have commissioned me to design. I actually, unfortunately, have someone where I have to design her child's obituary because she just recently passed. I actually, so I get off of here, I have a soul that I have to finish designing. So I do have some of the people that follow me and that like learn, they just like my style better, and they have commissioned me. I've actually done some logos for people. So that's a bold-faced lie for me to say people here don't. But like on average, like I don't come on here looking for clients for my actual designs. People on here will tell me, we don't even care. Just go live. We just want to see your process. We want to see how you conceptualize designs. Like, so there is an audience for my designs. So for you to say that they don't know any better, my actual like custom work, I told y'all, social media is a resource, is a resource, not the source. The bulk of my clientele for customs don't come from this little blue app. Oh, she was real lucky that I was driving when she posted that comment. And now, because I'm on here with people, I'm not even gonna respond back to it. I'm gonna let her have the last word. Because baby, for me as a Gemini, a May Gemini, allowing someone to have the last word just don't flow well with me. But I'm gonna let her have that. I'm gonna let her have it. Because see, if my next response may not be deemed professional at all. No, you don't. You speak of positives on other programs. Your work speaks for itself. I purchased from you because you are the GOAT. Thank you. And I'm like, and so I guess people do purchase from me because I have digital products. Like I haven't made, in a long time. Like, because I'm like, I'm still show this one. This whole thing was set up, even with it having all of the backgrounds and stuff. I did not have to go to Photoshop to do this. Really think about it. To do all, well, I guess I could have technically, I still would have had to go in. I had to do a pattern overlay, go in, do that, whatever, like to do the pattern overlay instead of just like cropping it to it. But I'm like, so my client that ordered this ordered it from me because they didn't know any better. I'm sorry. To me, that is where you are. That is a form of disrespect, because it's like, for you to tell somebody they're ordering from, like they're doing, like they're going to order anything because they don't know any better. That's what shit that gets you cussed out. And I don't even like the cuss, but baby, I am the product of a very good cursor, okay? Because Patronia Halley will read you for filth, okay? And cuss you down. I choose to not do that. I just don't. But that don't mean I can't. Don't mean that I can't. Because that shit right there, because they don't know better. Oh, wait. No, wait. Okay. And that's the thing too, right? Oh, it's never stress. I welcome. Let's, I've said the fact that, like right now, I'm on here talking. It's other people that will get on here and be lying through their teeth, giving false hope to shit. Excuse my French, because that was a little triggering. But giving like false hope. They will go and give their sob story for comments, and people will be up and down their timelines. They're commenting, they're sharing out a bunch of bullshit. I provide what I think is a very valuable information. It's filling in the gaps, not just selling you a dream. Yet I can't get people to share. I can't get people to like. I can't get people to comment. So for me, I don't care. Like for it's like not stress. The only reason why I would go back and forth, it ain't got nothing to do with the person. It's just to help my algorithm. It's to help my engagement. Facebook likes engagement. The more posts, the more comments that go back and forth that are at least 3 words or more, Facebook likes that. So me responding back will only be to push my engagement, to push my algorithm, so that my check, because I am in professional mode, I am fully monetized to where even my videos, this video right here, once I am done, is going to have ads run through it on my Sillaholics Anonymous page. And who's going to get paid? Shakia. So for me, baby, I welcome it. I welcome it. Okay. I welcome it. Y'all are bad influences. Bad influences. I guess I don't know any better because I've tried other folks' classes and never again will I cheat on you because I didn't even get 5% of the knowledge that I get from you. And I finished reading the rest of it to stress you out because they don't know you and the jealousy in the craft world is real. Don't let crazy people get a rise out of you. They are beneath you for a reason. So you know, I try to be diplomatic. So I'm not going to say that anyone's like beneath me. We're just on different levels. We're on different paths. We have different audiences, you know, so I'm going to be very, you know, diplomatic when it comes to that because I wouldn't want, you know, anyone to say that about me, that I'm like beneath them. We're just very different. Like I may not agree with how someone does something. They have an audience that loves the way that they do certain things, and that is fine. I'm still gonna talk about it. Like, hey, I don't. So, you know, it's still some you post online. So I'm gonna still talk about it. So hey. Lies, because I'm the queen of calling you last minute and you get the job done. And we love it. Would love to buy that design. So I guess I don't know any better. Hello, my friend. Keep doing what you're always gonna do that. Always gonna do that. I mean, this to me is just content. It's podcast worthy. Like I miss having just these discussions, but I also I don't mind having these discussions, but I will say that the comments back and seeing the comments helps push the conversation forward because you end up kind of like you only have like so many talking points and you may have a topic, and if you just kind of say your talking points for it and there's no one to dialogue back with. So to me, podcasts work better if you have one other person. Like I've listened to some podcasts that is just like one person and they bore the hell out of me because it seems like they're trying too hard to keep it going to where they're getting their podcast to be like 30 minutes, you know, so that it can be a part of like the rankings and stuff. So for me, you guys are like my audience, my guests, and like I kind of bounce off of like the things that you guys say. But I love talking about these things. People don't want to talk about these things. They feel like it's faux pas, or it's if you bring up somebody else's situation, you're automatically deemed a hater. It's a good thing that I don't let shit like that bother me. I'm not going to go and let you put the title of hater on me because I am just speaking on a situation that somebody decided to put on social media. They decided to put it out there publicly. What makes you think that someone isn't going to have an opinion on it? Whether they have an opinion and they're talking about it over the phone, over FaceTime, if somebody reshared it, like they screen recorded it, someone said, oh, you have too much time on your hand. Do you understand that we are in a day and age where having too much time on your hand and retweeting, reposting, screen sharing, and redropping it can make you money? So yeah, some people are definitely going to have a lot of time on their hands because do you know how much money there is in having too much time on your hand and being in people's business? If it wasn't for the fact that I like what I do and everybody got time for a whole other direction, Oh, I would probably definitely be one of those people that just come on here and just react to viral stuff that happened. Somebody posts some stuff and somebody posts something like, oh, did y'all see that? I ain't got time for that little ish, but I wish I did, because I would definitely probably react to a lot of the bullshit that happens in the craft community. Just like I so want to have a discussion about the A-Dub and Stan Banks situation, or T-shirt side hustle. I want to discuss that. I want to discuss Angela Jasmina's situation. And there's a few others. The others, it's like, I want to kind of discuss them, but at the same time, I don't want to give them no free promo, because I really can't stand the ASSs. So I'm like, I kind of steer away from it. It's like 3 of them where I'm like, I can't stand y'all. So I feel certain situations, I feel really bad. I empathize, but I just don't. I'm gonna say, okay, you know what? That's a wrong word. And maybe it's like, because I said it, it's like, okay, there has to be some truth to it. But it's really like, I just don't like how you move for some of them. And for one of them in particular, no, I really can't. I have a very high disdain for your rabbit ass, but my bad. There's certain situations that I really, really want to talk about, like really, really want to talk about. And I know that they would eat, okay? The checks would be flowing. The deposits would be flowing if I got on here and I talked about certain folk. Oh, the checks would be flowing. But I'm like, I'm just not trying to give them any additional eyes on them for people to be mesmerized by the bullcrap. Okay, I got you then. Let's increase that algorithm. We gonna fuss all day then. So look, so speaking of that, I just saw a TikTok, right? And I promise you, the first thing that went through my head, because what's really, really big in social media is skits. But okay, wait, let's go back. I'm gonna pause on my thought. I'm gonna come back to it because I want to talk about, because it's gonna make that point make sense. Skits and giving social media what they want to see is really, really big, really popular. It makes money. I was a little bit hurt. I'm not even gonna lie. I was a little bit hurt. One of the people, like one of the families that I really, really like watching are the Ellises, DeVal and Kadeen Ellis, right? And he was on The Pivot, which love that podcast, because they got Channing Crowder on there. He was, he's a dolphin, so I love watching The Pivot. It's more of a, like, they bring people like what we're in the sports world, and like, they'll come in and talk about it. And I like sports too, so I like The Pivot. So when DeVal was on there, he revealed that most of the stuff that we see on their platform is scripted. Like, it's not, I mean, some of it, you kind of know, because, and that some things are scripted, because who in the hell wakes up and just has a camera there? But then there's some things that I really thought were like kind of like authentic. And he was like, none of this shit is real. Like, that's not how I communicate with my kids, my wife, and I'm just like, well, damn, because, I really thought like some of the I'm not gonna say he doesn't love his wife, but like some of the interaction that it's like, it's really cute. And I'm like, to know that they were just putting on for the cameras, it's like, well, damn. So I say all that to where I'm like, I know that people will create scenarios just for views. So I'm on TikTok. I was scrolling this morning before I went to the appointment. Actually, no, was it? Yeah, it was before I went to the appointment, I think. Oh no, or maybe it was when I was coming back. I don't know. But at some point this morning, I was scrolling, and there was a young lady who was like, I'm not ashamed of the fact that I was a stripper, right? And I guess she doesn't do it in her life now, whatever. So she was like, somebody came on her post or her video and tried to play in her face or whatever, and tried to, come for her about her being a stripper once upon a time. So she said, okay, well, I went to her business page and I saw that she does credit repair, right? And she's like, how you gonna go and try and come for me on your professional business page? So she was like, she made a post, whatever. And so she was like, about 50 people commented. She was like, and then she's like, so she was like, I saw that she was charging 10,000, well, not 10,000, 1,000 and some odd dollars for credit repair. So I guess she's trying to say her whole thing was because she shaded me. Oh, I went on her post and said, don't pay da 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 amount of money. You don't need to. I can show you how to do this for just $150. Link in my, or I can send you the Amazon link, right? So she said she did that for 50 people. She said out of that 50 people, 42 of them end up following her, and then, or whatever the number was, and then was it like 13 end up using her link to buy the what's that thing called? To buy the 2 books, right? So I'm looking at the views, I'm looking at the likes, I'm looking at the comments, and I'm like, y'all are the most gullible ASS people in the world. If you believe that this story is true, you get a notification when somebody comments on your post. Do you know how long, even if you had copy and paste, how long it would take for you to copy and paste under each and every one of those? Oh, don't do this, whatever. Don't pay her. Go get this book. You're going to learn the exact same thing. So you trying to tell me that this person allowed you to comment that 50 times and then block your baby ass, or delete hers? Because even if, like, to go through and like try and delete all of those comments, ain't got time for that. That'll be a time where I'm just gonna delete my video. Baby, I can repost. It's in my phone. I can repost this video, but this particular one that has all these comments, and I'm sitting here like, they not thinking about that. Maybe it's just me, because I'm like, maybe I just think too logically. Because how in the hell would somebody allow you to comment 50 times and you ain't respond back that she went off on your ASS? Because baby, before I blocked you, the way I would have rolled out on your behind. So you're trying to tell me that this person doesn't have a rebuttal video talking about your disrespect for it? This is the most cap story ever for you to promote these credit repair books that are probably yours, and you say go to my Amazon link, so you're probably getting the commission for it. Because I cannot see you going that hard just to get a few bucks on a book. So I say all that to say there's so much stuff on social media that is straight cap. Folks be lying. Yes. When I tell you I was so hurt, I was just like, oh, wow. I mean, it's like, some things are kind of like scripted, right? Because it's like you're waking up and the camera's like right there. Like, that there's, so I always feel like I know that there's a setup, right? Like, okay, especially like, because things happen for us, but I think would be like viral moments like, but of course there's no camera going. It's not like they just have cameras set up in their house and like you're just posting like the stuff that your security cameras can't capture. You're literally holding like this up. So like some of those moments, it's like, okay, yeah, right? But then you have those moments where it's like, okay, that it was intentional to pick it up. It's like, it's Christmas time. Let's go around. Let's go see this, whatever. Oh, the kids are in the pool. They're doing this. To know that all of that shit was scripted, I was like, damn. This is why I'm like, you cannot envy somebody's life, what they put on social media, because you never know. There was a situation. Someone goes and they're talking about all of the good. I made all of this money. I'm making 6, 7, figures or whatever. I went from nothing to something. I think there's someone even on TikTok where it goes like their tagline or their handle is from food stamps to millionaire or something like that or whatever. So it's like they're posting all of this stuff and look at what I have. I'm in this store, I'm in that store, I'm buying, 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 buying. But it wasn't until the situation was rectified that they then go and say, oh, well, I made some stupid ass moves and I owed the government, I owed Uncle Sam a whole lot of money and I just did that. And it's like, where was the transparency when all this was happening? But now that it's over with, it's like, okay, now we want to talk about it and get the, oh my God, thank you for letting us, putting us up on game. Thank you for the transparency. You're so honest. You're going to always look out for us. Y'all can't be that damn gullible. Folks can't be that goddamn gullible. Exactly right. I was like, damn. And I think some of it, like some of them where I'm like, I know that it was scripted because ones when she be trying to pull out her little booty and he don't hit it and she gets upset. Like that one I knew. Like when I see them, like, you know, he sings like a little maxi dress song or like them just like them getting glammed up. It's like, I'm hoping that like that stuff is like, why did you like, let me live the lie? Like DeVal, why did you say that? Because now I'm like, I know that there has to be some authentic moments in there. Like I've watched her go through the birth of all of her children except for Jackson, right? Like and like home births and stuff like that. The gender reveals, like she's having all boys, and I'm like, was none of it real? Like, I was so hurt. Like, and I know, like you should. It wasn't a matter of like envious. It's just like seeing good. Like just real, because they've had disagreements and stuff like that. Exactly. Like, let me live the lie. The people, like ones that I love. Oh, you know what? It was one that was like also like that. But they did have a book called Marriage Be Hard. But I felt some type of way, and I connected with them. I just felt some way, but I really connected, and it made them seem even more human to me. Was Kev and Melissa Fredericks. And, you know, after the fact where they see, you know, they're lovey-dovey, but they also like are very real or whatever. But when they're telling the story now where Melissa was like, I need a break. And she was going to leave. And she got in her car. She was like, she was going to go to a hotel. And Kev was like, he ran out the house like in a row, snot nose, like no. And he's like, I knew she left. Like, no, let's work this out. Let's figure this out. And I'm like, that's a real moment because in marriage, like you have those moments where it's like you're ready to break. I love that Tabitha and Chance, they've been kind of real in like the ups and downs that they don't always agree. Like that's someone that I feel like is kind of authentic in their interaction online. Because we saw Chance not want to be on live. Like, nobody got time. It's like, get that camera out my face. And then just for him to grow to where, you know, he's loving it now. Them talk about, like, it ain't always peaches and cream. Like, if I ever found out that Tabitha stuff was scripted, I would probably never, ever believe anything I ever see on social media. Like, I know a lot of people's stuff is scripted, but, like, if someone ever told me that like they sit there and they are like making up scripts for content instead of it just being like, okay, let's like the camera's on, or I see you setting up the camera, let's capture this life moment. But to know that something is like you thought about how you were going to set this up and script it, if somebody told me that about Tabitha and Chance, I would be so devastated. I thought DeVal and Khadijah hurt, but that would really, really hurt me. I know firsthand what you're capable of doing, because what you have done for me, there's no need for you to be going back and forth, because clearly your work speaks for itself. Your work is amazing. And for those who have been on this journey with me for a really long time, you guys know that. But there's a lot of new people here. So contrary to what most people think, I have to prove myself every single day to someone who does not know who I am. They don't know the level of knowledge and expertise that I bring to the table. So every time I am introduced to someone, I do have to prove myself because they don't know my body of work. All teaching is not for everyone. We all learn differently. However, in my opinion, you are the best teacher. Thank you. You offer criticism, but it is positive and I learn from you. Yeah, I would be hurt by that. But yeah, it still goes to, the things that we post on, social media. Are there rules to it? And now, so those of you who saw my post and you laughed at it, y'all are my tribe, y'all are my people. And then there were the ones that were like, oh, that's not true. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, this is where the people who've been around for a long time, and like I said, I'm very consistent. I don't like the word hack. I think that the craft community overuses the word hack. Some ish is not a hack. You just didn't know about it. Just because you didn't know about it doesn't mean that it wasn't happening. Case in point, printing to roll paper. Printing longer than 11 inches or 14 inches or 19 inches, being able to print 47 inches. That's not a hack. That is what the printers were meant to do. Just because you're just now being introduced to it, it's like, I've literally have videos about this for I don't know how many years. Like I'm really about to test this theory. I'm going to take the same video that I had 5 years ago and I'm going to change the words. I'm going to actually re-upload it and change the title to hack for blah, 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 blah. I'm going to re-upload videos where I have used Glitter HTV or EconoSub, and I'm going to say sublimation to black shirts or to colored shirts, but I'm like, I'm not really doing it. It's like you have to play mind games with people on social media. And that's one of the rules that I'm learning. But people know that I despise the word hack. And so I made a post and I was like, ooh, I figured out the way to get more engagement. I have to call it a hack, or I have to say, oh, watch me do the viral. It could be something and I'm actually about to test this. It's going to be something that I just came up with. And I'm going to say, oh my God, this is what's going viral. Watch how I do this viral, blah, 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 blah. As long as you say something is viral, people are ready to jump on it. If you say something is a hack, people are ready to jump on it because they feel like they're getting over on something. So I'm like, I put that on there and it was people that laughed at the post because they know me. And then some people took it way too seriously. But I am going to do that. I'm going to take some of my content and I'm going to do it's the hack or it's the viral. It's so funny to me that like the vending machines, I'm like, I've been teaching foam board boxes for 8 years. So, okay. Here's the thing with this design, which is in the vault. Everything else I can. It's just that when it comes to the background, you're going to be limited kind of sort of in the color that you can change it to. And I can't really give you, because with Silhouette Studio, these, like, it's not like Photoshop where you have layer styles and you can just change the font, change the name, and it takes on the styles. So for this, I can't really do that part. Now, like all of the lines and stuff like that, I can. With all of the sparkles and stuff, I can do that, and you'll be able to easily change all of the colors. But the way that the font is, you would have to take a class to know how to do that. Please hold, because NJ went to urgent care. Hold on. All right, sorry, that was MJ. He's in Georgia and he doesn't feel well. So yeah, I know I know I was frozen. I had to answer a call. But yeah, I mean the one for the stole and this one I can technically drop, but it's more so just the background and it's just the stripes. I'm always leery about like certain designs or whatever because there's certain like to me, if I didn't have things like a certain way, I don't think it would look the same. And then I'm like, with this template, do I also have to provide a tutorial? And sometimes I'm not able to like go and record it because not everybody knows how to use Solar Studio. Like they wouldn't know how to put this behind it because it's not like Photoshop where you have the layers and you can just like easily move it. You know, how do you go about getting the images like behind this strip? And then like with this one, her chair is behind the strip, but her leg is on top. And then her arm is like on top, like here. Well, that one was pretty easy for the top part. But this one, it's a certain graphic design technique that you would do in any program. So it's like, I overthink. Like instead of just putting putting it out there, I overthink about like, oh, well, they use this picture, they use that picture, which I know I should not concern myself with. Hey, if you don't know how to use it, don't know how to use it. But that's why like I end up like not dropping certain things. But yes, I can put this one as is in the vault. The other thing is too, you would have to still like this wouldn't be on there. Like I'm not going to do this where it has all of the different years because then I have to do all the offsets for it, fill it in or whatever. I have a, you know, y'all know there's a template that have like these numbers in it. And you would have to go in, fill it in with whatever glitter, do the offsets and all that stuff. Because for me to go in and do this, no matter like if I go from like 2025, because 2024 is over, if I still do 2024, because some people have winter graduations, if I do 2024 through like, let's say 2029, like I did the other ones, then I have to now spend time doing that and matching the offset. So it's like little things like that that I'm like, I don't want to do this as a template. But I can drop the base of it and you just have to figure out your own fonts because I can't give you a template with like font names and this fonts and stuff like that. I would love to see a full tutorial on it. So certain things I know a lot of people would love to. I have stopped doing like full-on tutorials. I would mind doing them if I had like a subscription-based thing for people to see like my designs and see all of that. But I go in and let's say if I am doing a full tutorial, it doesn't benefit me any because people don't engage, they don't like, they don't comment, they just sit there and watch me do it. So it doesn't help me make any money. So I'm literally on here helping others and it's never coming back to benefit me. Half the time, not even a thank you, not a share, not a introduce me to somebody else. You may not need to pay for them, you may not need my service, but introduce me to somebody else, recommend the paper. So unfortunately, I don't do a lot of my full-on designs now. If anybody sees it, it'll be TikTok because those lives are not saved. So it's not like a situation where I'll do it and now it lives forever online to where people just can kind of, they can one up from my content and I get nothing from it. So sometimes I will do it live on TikTok, but I said, you know, I've said this a while ago, like I transitioned from sharing a lot of like my design stuff because before I used to go every time I'm creating a design, I was live. I will not do that again. Everybody else charges for every little thing. You know, I mean, there's people that charge. I don't care if it's like $3, $2, $4, $5, whatever, but you have people that charge for digital downloads to show you how to print longer, how to you know, how to set up a chip bag, how to what is it, like another like simple one or whatever, how to take, like not even like fully how to do everything, but because you're not showing you full on design. I've seen ones where it's like, oh, they're selling a digital file or class or PDF or download, like whatever it is, and it's just how to tape together the papers, how to split it, and like, so if they can get their coins, why is Shakia continuing to give away ish for free and not get any support? So that's not the rule. Like, should that be a rule? If you are on somebody's content, I've been on for an hour and 30 minutes. If you have sat and watched this video for 10 minutes, if it held your attention for 10 minutes, is it not worth a like? Is it not worth some sort of comment to help the person's algorithm? Like, should that be a rule? Like, how long should you consume somebody's content before you give a like, give a comment, or just be in the background and use the excuse, oh, well, I'm at work, I'm at this, I'm like, but you clicked on the video, you could easily also like click on the like. I'm not saying you have to always comment, but at least click on the like. Like, dang, like help your girl out. I posted a comment about not a comment, I made a post on whether or not you can use an iron for Silhouette Studio. Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, some people do, but then there's like there's quite a few people that really don't. They watch from beyond the shadows. Hi, friend. I will say, I was actually surprised, and maybe that, I don't know, I'm not surprised. I was hoping that it would garner a little bit more attention than it did. But then I'm also like, I wonder how many people looked at my post and said, this is definitely clickbait. Because I made the post saying, if your heat press goes down or whatever, could you use like an iron? So I wonder if there's a set of people who did not comment because they felt like, what kind of bullshit is Shakia up to now? What is the meaning behind this? So I think some people kind of caught on. You know, they clocked my team. So I'm like, is that why it didn't get, you know, because baby, it's a hack. You end up doing that. Oh my gosh. So I mean, sublimation with an iron. I really thought that I would, but I'm like, okay, it's a few people. All right, y'all. Well, it's been real. I have to now finish a design for a graduation stole because it needs to be shipped out today. So I need to design it, print it, and press it all today. So yeah. Exactly. I saw that and thought, you're up here messing with folk. So messing with folk. Okay, wait, before I leave, right? So did you think that I was messing with people to say, no, you cannot do this? Do you think I've actually already tested it out? Like, I want to know, like, what were your thoughts? Because you said, you know, I was messing with folks. Like, on which side of the equation do you think I was like messing with folks? Where is this chick we made the video for? Why we ain't tag her? Oh God. I don't even feel like I even need to. She's probably watching it. You knew I tested it out. You think it worked? You think it works? Hold on. I'm back. So when I tested it out, do you think it worked or did it work? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hush! That's not what I asked, okay, ma'am? It's not what I asked. It's not what I asked you, okay? Or that's not the question I asked. Did it or did it not work? Papa,
Yeah.
give me those things that you folded. I know you did a really good job of folding them, but mommy needs to see them, okay? Let me see.
Okay.
Let me see. Come here.
Okay.
Come up here with mommy.
Okay.
Does this look like him? Smile. No, show your teeth. Smile. Cheese. They said, hey, Ziny Money, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm a white rat emoji.
Because mommy was being funny.
Hi.
I just know from experience that it wouldn't. This was done with Honesty Speaking sublimation paper and an iron. But I'm the professor, so you know I didn't test it out just one time. This was also done with an iron.
Boy.
This was also done. This one was, I think, the first one, so it's a little wonky. Is this the one? Wait, is this the first one? No, maybe this is the third one.
Donkey.
But yeah, so.
Donkey.
But yeah, so it really depends, you know, like LaShonda said, them other papers bet not try it. But because we can submit 365 degrees, an iron does get hot enough, and because it you want to wear it? What you said? Oh, you want to show them your rainbow shoes and your dinosaur? Okay. He helped design it. He wants to show y'all his rainbow shoes and his dinosaur.
My rainbow shoes.
He said, do y'all like his rainbow shoes? Wait, okay, there it is. Now they can see your rainbow shoes. Wait, can they see? I can't really see. Okay, there it is. Y'all see his rainbow shoes? He wants to know if y'all like his rainbow shoes.
And do y'all like my dinosaur? And
do you like his dinosaur? I remember when you tested and gave the pros and cons of using an iron versus a heat press. See? Folks who know. And that was also a test. Like someone said, you know, like I feel like I have to prove myself all the time because there's a lot of people who have not been around for those demonstrations. So I had to bring it back. So I had to start that conversation with just a post. And of course, a full video is going to come. I'm having a real brain fart right here. I'm listening and trying to make a Juneteenth shirt for my friend. I only have a gray shirt. Will the white part show if I submit? No, it will not. Anything that is white will be gray. Yeah. And it, oh, wait, see? Hold on. Guess who has on a gray shirt? Boy, get down. See, it will affect the color, and this is supposed to be white. It's gray, and it will affect the rest of the colors as well. They said, yes, they sure do. Yes. Someone else says they love them. Somebody else gave you a heart. Love them. Yes and yes. And then someone else says, love the rainbow shoes and the dinosaur. LaShonda gave you 3 rainbows and 4 dinosaurs. And yeah, so they said they love your rainbow shoes and your dinosaurs. I turned around and y'all can see the foolery back there. All right, y'all. No, for real though, I have to do this stole. You are very welcome. Hey. Miss Patricia likes them as well. But yeah, because I still have to finish that and creating the content for his brand under 365, not 365. B Bros Enterprise 365. MJ has his stuff. He'll have his line of stuff. Mom, yes, my love. I made it. You made what? I threw it, baby. Oh, you threw it and it made it? Okay. Am I headed to TikTok? Probably not, because I really want to get this done. And even though half the time people don't say anything, I end up like distracted. So probably not, but we'll see. But probably not. Or if I do, it'll be like for the actual production of the stole. All right, because and the reason why I say probably not is there are 2 podcasts that I want to listen to or watch. So if I'm like if I am like live, then I probably I won't be able to like listen to like my podcast. So, and I need to finish catching up on the drama that is A-Dub and Stan Banks T-shirt side hustle, because Stan just did another video. Also, Angela Jasmina dropped another video. So I want to watch those. I want to watch those 2 things. And I have 2 business podcasts that I still need to like finish listening to. I have Between the Walls podcast I need to listen to. What's today? Today's Wednesday. So is it dropped today? There's somebody's video I'm waiting to drop on the Fenty hair products. I want to watch her video, but it's not a podcast, whatever. But yeah, I have the craft drama videos to, well, one is a craft drama, one is just kind of, just seeing where Angela Jasmina's head is, with everything. I do know when I first started watching her video, because I started watching it, and she's just like, oh God, thank you guys for the order. And I'm like, come on, like, I get it. And I'm like, I'm grateful that people did buy like some stuff from her, but I really, really want her to not rely on her audience. Like, don't rely on the audience for that. But yeah, I want to see, I just want to kind of see like the update and like all of that stuff. I want to finish watching the Stan Banks one, and I think A-Dub made like another video. I want to catch up on that drama. There's 2 business podcasts, and then Between the Walls, which is like a relationship podcast. And at some point, I'm going to finish watching, because it was hard to watch. I've actually watched around Erica and Teddy Campbell's Dear Future Wife podcast one, and I'm just like, that one was hard to watch, but I do want to finish watching it. So I got a lot of stuff that I need to watch, and I don't know how TikTok Live works. Like if I'm playing something else in the background. I mean, people play music. So I guess if I play my podcast and stuff like that, it wouldn't matter. I don't know. I might. baby. And I am here for, look here, okay? I am here for the entertainment value of it all. I really like, I'm like, well, damn, everybody, like Cat Williams said, it is like Cat Williams set the tone, and baby, the world has never been the same since that interview. It's like, it's almost like how, I mean, I know a lot of things were happening with Wendy Williams anyway, but the moment she came for Tabitha Brown and Tabitha Brown went and kind of blessed her life ain't been the same. I feel like that's how the world has been, especially on social media when it comes, like, ever since Cat Williams did that, did Club Shay Shay. Because I thought the rap beef and the diss tracks was one thing, but baby, it is spilling over into everything. Okay, everything, and I'm here for it. Can somebody start some beef with me? Like, we can both benefit from it. Like, can somebody start some beef with me, please? Make a diss track about me. Drop subliminals so that I can come back with non-subliminals. Because I think I've dropped some subliminals too, but I mean, it's like whoever, I just don't want to, they put this stuff out there too. So every sector is getting it, honey. Every sector. Yes, child. Yes. And really, I'm trying to figure out why is this coming up again? Because this shit's so old. And just because of a title, like it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Somebody say them again so I can write them down. Oh gosh. But the podcast I'm gonna watch. So I mean, not all of them are like business stuff, whatever. So I have I like Donnie Wiggins from Social Proof. So there's Social Proof podcast, and she was on like that network or whatever. Now she does Full Transparency on her own YouTube. So there's Donnie Wiggins. She just had Tasha, I'm about to say Tasha Scott. That is not their lady name. Or it is actually, hold on, no, what's her name? The one that just played Martin's wife in Bad Boys, and from Tyler Perry stuff. What is her name? Smith. I don't know, some of this. Tasha Smith. So Donnie just interviewed her. Definitely want to finish. I haven't started watching that one. There is a Social Proof that I need to finish. There's actually two Social Proof I need to finish watching. There's a Hot Seat. I missed the last Hot Seat, but then the comments on it was like, where we have all these laugh tracks. I don't even know if I want to listen to that one or whatever. And then it was like Homegirl was like all over the place. But I like David's, at least I did before. I like his Hot Seats. I actually liked Free Smoke. And I'm actually kind of disappointed that he's saying that he's going to cut back, and he felt like people had too much, like he was too accessible. But I'm like, you were not necessarily really doing them like live. So for your community, you all like, they have access to you. So normally when him and Donnie, they do their podcast, we don't get it live. We get the recording of it, because I think they may do it on Instagram Live, and they do it like within their community, but they don't do it on like live like on YouTube, whatever. It's like a playback, but I think their communities get to see it first. They're like live on Zoom. So they normally do theirs, and then he would do, I think, another throughout the week. Then on Fridays he was doing Free Smoke, and that was completely live. I love that one. And then he would do Hot Seat, which was like pre-recorded. So he was saying he was dropping four podcasts or 4 things a week. And I'm like, out of 7 days out of the week, like, to me, that's not like, if you're into podcasting and that is your job, like, I personally don't really care for a lot of people that only have like 1 a week or like 1 a month. Like, this is booty. Like, I like those, and especially since it's not the same thing. Like, to me, they're all different things. So I didn't understand, why he wanted to like now drastically like change that whole thing, because your whole thing is podcast. You're telling people how to have a successful podcast. And if you're having all these different things, like, why would you not want to put out content? So then it kind of made me question, like, do you really know what you're doing? Because it's like your whole thing is podcasting, but now you're trying to back away from podcasting. Is it because you like, so damn it. It's like, it's so many things I want to talk about. Like, goddamn. So with that one, like, how can I say this? I wish I had, like, I can do a podcast where it's like, it's not that I want to talk, I'm not talking down about people, but when I see stuff posted on social media, I have thoughts. So it's like, I'm not sure, your ages, but there used to be this show, and it was, oh my God, what was, not her, is it Herman's Head? Hold on. Or something else. It's not Herman's, was it Herman's Head? No. Oh, it was. See? So it was called Herman's Head, and it's like, the people that like live in his head, like his thoughts and stuff like that. And like sometimes I want to do like something where it's like, I just want y'all to hear like my thoughts. Like, this is what I saw this is what went through my head. But I'm like, do people like me enough to like really, do people really care enough to know like what was going on in my head and my thoughts about certain things, whatever. But anywho, so I'm like, he has ramped up his ads and things, not just for Podcast Summit. He has like this masterclass thing going on for, how to start a podcast. Like, you don't need too much fancy equipment. Like, this is what all like you need or whatever. So like kind of get started in podcast, like break down the basics. I think it's like free. He's dropping a lot of money like into ads and stuff like that. And I guess there is an audience that likes these like viral, like these type videos where people are using like other videos, and let's say like, I don't say it ends in like a cliffhanger, but like one of them was, there's a video that was going around, and there's somebody like on a gurney or a stretcher, and the people drop him and he rolls. So then what some people are using for content, they'll have that in the beginning, and then they'll roll and then pop up, and then like they'll say like whatever it is they're trying to promote. Or that one that's like a motorcycle and it is about to flip. So people will do that, and then they'll flip. And then there's, which other one did I see? Like there's the one where it's like they throw it's like a pail or something. And there was this other sound to where you did that, like you change out different picture, and it's like a thud, and it goes like into like this other like sound or whatever. But people are doing that, and it's like, okay, don't get hit upside your head. For me, I find that content cringy as hell. I'm like, to me, I just scroll social media, right? And they're normally like really quick or whatever. Sometimes I get through the whole thing, sometimes I don't. Like, I'm scrolling. So if you're on something more than 3 seconds, it counts as a view. It doesn't necessarily mean that I like the content. But they end up getting the views, and it seems like it's viral. But I think for business stuff, for me, I was never compelled to get more information, for any of those people that did that. It just seems so cheesy to me when it's supposed to be for something that's like business. Like, I don't know, it just seemed weird to me. So he started doing that, and I'm like, oh my God, David, don't. So it's like, it seems like he's just trying to do like anything to kind of like, I guess, up his algorithm. But then for me, it's like, you have these commercials for your podcast summit and for your podcast masterclass, and you're like, the words I hate. And it did turn me off a little bit, because I don't understand why coaches and people like that uses this whole thing as like, oh, like the immediate thing, like for them to say to grab someone's attention, I guess like in business is, oh, you want to make 6 figures in podcasting? Like, you're one of those. Oh my God, you must be went through the same coaching with these people where they tell you, entice them with money, say 6 figures, everyone is going to perk up. I'm like, oh my God, you're becoming one of those. So that kind of like threw me off. But it's like, there's money in podcasting, da 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 da. right? So to tell someone that there's money in podcasting and you have a brand that you want to promote, well, sir, you no longer promote Sleep is for Suckers, right? You're not promoting your shirt, so you're not using the podcast to then promote your shirts. You don't really make the shirt, although I see them like on the bottom, like he has like the consistency one, stuff like that or whatever. So to me, it's like you're in this podcast space, which I think he's great for learning to do podcasts. So in my mind, I'm like, why would you cut away if you're doing podcasts? You want to show the podcast space. I personally felt like each one of those podcasts showcased something different. It was like a different way of doing it to where all podcasts are not the same. Hot Seat is really kind of like, I love, like, he is almost like an antagonist in Hot Seat, and he's going to ask the questions where even when he does know the answer, I think he's like asking certain things to get a reaction and get a response, just help them understand. Like, you see us, like, I need you to keep repeating this so you can see how silly this sounds. So I love the dynamic of what Hot Seat is. And he's like, he wants to focus more on that. But I also like the content that he brings forth when he has other people on. Now, I can see maybe you have these people who, like he always said, they have receipts in the business world. You know, he proves that they have receipts. They're bringing a lot of game, because the last couple of guests that he's had, the game, I'm like, especially this last one about like advertising, major game. That is something that I can see maybe being behind a paywall, because he also has a membership on YouTube. So I'm like, if you're going to do it, maybe cut back on the number of free things that you do, but not the podcast like in of itself, because when he had them on, that is what we know you for, you and Donnie. It almost seems like, even though I know they're cool, if you're going to focus more so on Hot Seat, is Donnie going to come with you on Hot Seat? Because I like the dynamic. I don't remember Social Proof anymore, where Donnie was not a part of Social Proof. Like, so if you're not going to do that, you're saying you're going to focus more on Hot Seat. So what about that one? Because I like Donnie's perspectives on certain things. So even if y'all were to put that behind, you know, a membership, and you have to have the membership to view that live or view that content, okay, I understand that, but don't cut it away. Free Smoke was kind of like a free for all. It's kind of like a Q&A, kind of how I do mine. So I think that one kind of qualifies, like, to be able to leave it as like a free program type thing. And then it's like sometimes he will post the stuff like from his morning meetup, or he'll just kind of come on and do like a live video like in the morning time and stuff like that, just kind of give some gems. But that one is by himself, and he's just kind of talking, he's like interacting, he's by himself. Free Smoke was a bunch of other people, not including Donnie. I liked, you know, I always liked the dynamic of him like getting the perspective of like his staff, and they have the microphone. So I love the way that Free Smoke was set up. I like the monologues at the beginning. Some people didn't. I like the monologues of like Free Smoke, and I just thought that it was really interesting. So now to hear that he's like, oh, well, no, I don't want to do any of those. I just want to focus on Hot Seat, because he's like, I want to now help with like entrepreneurship. I get that he's always talked about entrepreneurship, and his podcast is about Social Proof for entrepreneurship. So, but if you're taking those away, then, but you have this thing saying do podcasts, so it's just kind of weird for me. I'm kind of in a weird headspace when it comes to the direction of Social Proof, but Social Proof is one that I love. Donnie has hers, which is called Full Transparency. So her name is Donnie Wiggins. Hers is Full Transparency. So only if like she just recently started putting them on her Donnie Wiggins. If you want to see like some of her other ones, they are on the Social Proof Network. You just have to go into the playlist for Full Transparency. Earn Your Leisure. Sometimes Earn Your Leisure is boring as hell to me, but it can be some good and helpful information. So Earn Your Leisure. I like Neo's podcast by himself. And I only watch the visuals. I don't listen to podcasts like through Spotify and all those like Apple Music. I don't look. I know that's what helps their ratings, but I don't listen to podcasts that way. So I like that. It's not a podcast, but it's like more like a show. I'm kind of mad they ended. I used to watch the Bald and the Beautiful. That ended, like they had their last show this week, but Melissa, that one is a podcast, and they have Gin and Juice. So I watched that one. I watched Dear Future Wife podcast. I watched B. Simone's new podcast. I was watching Marketing by Monrae, but she's kind of like, I was drawn in from the podcast and interview that she did with BB Judy or Jessica DuPont. And she was actually just on Full Transparency with Donnie, and it was really different. Like, being the fact that I watched, if you've not watched, you don't know who Marketing by Monrae is, like, just search that on YouTube and look for the one with Judy, or I think it might say Jessica, or I'm not sure how it says like on there, but that's like the Brat's wife. That podcast, and like, even though it's like on a big scale, it helps you think about when you scale. And she talks about like inventory and losing money and like, I love that. And I liked those types of conversations. I feel like Marketing by Monrae's, it started to like, it started off with like a real big high, and then like all the other ones, it didn't seem like it was really about business anymore. I listened to the first one, so I kind of stopped watching that one, but I still try and show support and hoping that it will go back to its glory days. But she's kind of like not been posting like as much. Who else? As you can see, I watch a lot of them. I'm trying to think what other ones, like I could think of the names off the top of my head. And then some of them was like, I just have like certain YouTube channels that I just like to watch just to watch them. So I hate the cliffhangers. I get stuck on a loop of videos with these people saying, oh my God. I still don't know what the point or what they're showing exactly. I scroll past them folk. Yeah. So yeah, right now, what I'm probably going to end up watching, depending on how long it takes me to do all of this stuff, which hopefully I don't need to get, because some of these are like 45 minutes, like an hour. I don't want to spend that much time, worrying about like, well, not say worrying about, but like spending way too much time on the stove. I'm going to use a template that I have and just kind of rearrange it. But I'll probably I really want to watch Donnie's Full Transparency with Tasha Smith. Oh, if you've never watched anything with Milano DeRouge, if you just search her name on YouTube and any podcast that she is on, watch it. Like, seeing how she just talks about like how she built Milano DeRouge is always so freaking inspiring. So if you ever watched her, any of the stuff that she's on, and anytime I watch anything, if Milano DeRouge is on there, if Tabitha's on there, like, I'm stopping and I'm watching it. Let's see. But yeah, I might start watching Donnie, and I do want to watch Angela Jasmina's update, and finish watching Stan talk about transfers and screen printing and the issues that came up with like A-Dub. So yeah, that's that. All right, y'all, let me get out of here because somebody did come in here already and ask me for something to eat, because all he had from Wendy's was bacon. So I'm going to go feed him and get started on this design so that I can design, print, press, and ship today. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Peace.